Duke's linebackers have accumulated nearly a quarter of the team's tackles and a third of the team's stops behind the line of scrimmage this season. Redshirt sophomore Giles-Harris exploded onto the scene last year, starting every game at linebacker for the Blue Devils. His mindset and preparation have helped develop the young player into an anchor of the Duke defense. On his way to being named one of the semifinalists for the Chuck Bednarik Award, given to the nation's top defensive player.
My freshman year, you can ask Ben, I kind of felt things out a little too much. I was kind of nervous, week in and week out. There wasn't really I didn't really get comfortable. And going through an off season, just focusing on getting comfortable was a big thing for me, and just knowing everything, knowing other positions, and getting a feel for things. And it showed this year, and I can thank my coaches and the 10 other guys for that. 1 year under your belt, you kind of get used to everything. You feel your way out, and then after that, it's just go play football and have fun. You're used to what's coming, and when you got 10 other guys who you can depend on, it's easy to make plays, and they have my back and I have theirs. So I'm going to go do what I have to do while they do what they have to do, and I've been the lucky one this year.
Joe Giles-Harris is a lot of things, and pretty complex. What makes him a really good football player? He is a big guy, and he's a big guy that can move. But I think the edge that he has is his seriousness, his ability to focus. Joe is as quiet as any defensive football player. You may see him arm pump or he gets excited, but you're not going to see him do much talking. He's not a trash talking, in-your-face guy. I think Joe has a rare ability of always be thinking about the next play, about the next series. He understands his responsibility within the defense extremely well. That's one of the reasons he and Ben Humphries play off of each other so well. But Joe Giles-Harris is tough. And as a sophomore, he plays like a veteran. I have a great deal of confidence in that young man.
I just feel he's just really attentive and really knowledgeable of the game. Like I said, after the game on Sunday, and he'll come up to me and we'll be like at lunch or something. He'll be talking about the plays. Like, do you remember this? Do you see this? Like, I should have done this. He's just really invested in the game. And we'll be having conversations about plays and things after in practice when we see each other on campus, kind of just like breaking down scenarios and things like that. So he's just a really smart guy, always locked in. So I feel like that's definitely allowed him and Ben both to kind of be great, very young.
I try not to think about football outside of the yo and outside of the practice field, just to kind of relax and, get my mind off it and stuff, because we do it so much. But there's once in a while, things will be bugging you, and you got to just figure them out. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the movie theater or just eating lunch somewhere, and it just comes up. So I kind of just try to get all the football questions out early, and then just to focus on being a regular student half the time. But sometimes it irks you to the point where you got to figure stuff out. So I'll ask them whenever I feel convenient to ask them.
All the running back on 3rd and 1. They've got to go to the 36 for a first. From under center, the handoff on the end around goes to the wide receiver, Arujo Lopes, and he's dropped for a loss. Chased from behind by Joe Giles-Harris, and he's dropped back at the 32. The Duke defense makes a play, and it's punting time for Pitt.
Yeah, Giles-Harris has really developed into one of the premier linebackers in the ACC.
I think one of the challenges for Joe, I've had some great players through the years, that position, Patrick Willis, and certainly we've had quarterbacks, and every position. When you have some success and you're a mature sophomore, that becomes a challenge. The way Joe has to approach this is, how is he going to really improve his game? How's he going to go about studying an opponent? It's not just on the field. How is he going to do? You start consuming football differently as a real veteran. Then you go on a practice field. Joe has to understand that's where great lives. It's not on the game field. Great lives on that practice field. So he's got to embrace being the best practice player we've ever had. When you do that, and it's a serious decision, when you do that, there is no limit. Joe Giles-Harris is the one that's going to dictate where he's headed. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can accomplish as a junior and a senior football player here at Duke.
I think you just got to be fearless, you got to walk in with a chip on your shoulder. And I get a lot for it. I'm going to talk to whoever I feel like I need to talk to. So if that's someone on the other team or someone on my team, I'm going to be jacked up. You can't have fear in your heart, and that's the biggest thing. You got to go attack every moment like you're the guy and you're supposed to be there. you're not getting better, you're getting worse, you know, as people say. So I don't want to remain stagnant. I want to keep building and keep growing and keep learning as much as I can just to be able to go out and continue to perform at a high level week in and week out.